The Dynasty market is finally hot again. Your league mates are back from vacation. They're back from the beach, wherever they went over the summer. They're logging into Sleeper. And guess what? We have preseason stats, and they're ready to start making some moves, which lets you guys capitalize and build up the best team you can. We're talking about 12 names today, and I'm really excited about this one. These are my 12 guys I need you guys to go trade for right now. I'm calling my shot. And I'm not going to be wrong. I've already hit on a lot of these guys so far, predicting some of these guys going up in value from January. What's up, Tyler Shough? So guys that, listen, these guys will increase in value, number one. But not only that, it's not just a flip scenario. These are players I want you to buy and potentially hold because these guys are going to output good, solid weekly production in your lineup. Let's go win some leagues. Join the Discord, free team reviews, free trade advice, a huge amount of free offerings, and then smash that like and subscribe number right now. Thank you very much. George Pickens is the first name we need to talk about. Guys, the buzz from Cowboys training camp. What do you think it is? It's good. And how can it not be good, right? So, George Pickens, bam, 17 points per game last year. Wide receiver 6. Now, the naysayers will say that it's because CeeDee Lamb was banged up. Yeah, I think that CeeDee Lamb being healthy is actually going to be A-okay for George Pickens. Why? He is a red zone contested catch machine. It's kind of like a Walmart version of Davante Adams. You definitely don't want to compare him there because Davante Adams had double the amount of touchdowns per game that Pickens did. But he was still a big downfield threat for Dak Prescott, and there was a lot of potential meat on the bone. What do I mean by that? Every single time George Pickens was targeted downfield, pass interference, pass interference, pass interference. Listen, at some point, these guys are going to have to stop, draw on the penalty. And Pickens could have had a lot more fantasy points had those been catches and not, the DBs potentially murdering him, ripping his helmet off, smashing him in the head before he could catch the ball. You guys get what I'm saying? So even with CeeDee Lamb going to be there, I really like George Pickens as a target. Now, he's obviously playing under the franchise tag. What does that mean for him moving forward? You want him to be attached to somebody that can support fantasy production. Dak Prescott is that guy. Whenever healthy, Dak Prescott, he outputs a lot of fantasy yards per game, meaning he passes the football a lot of passing attempts, a lot of passing yards, and a lot of passing touchdowns. Pickens will be a main beneficiary of this. And the Cowboys defense isn't great. Expect some barn burners of a game. What are you willing to give up for George Pickens? What am I willing to give up? Guys, I'm not going to lie here. I'm willing to give up a 2027 first-round pick, even if it's early. Now, if that's going to be Jeremiah Smith, you're going to have regrets. Because Jeremiah Smith, he has the ceiling of a cornerstone asset, of a Jamar Chase, a Jackson Smith and Jigba. We know that. However, who's my number 2 in Dynasty 2027? It's Cam Coleman. And to me, I think a lot of the time, who are we thinking the second level guy can become? I compare a lot of these guys like Denzel Boston. My hope for Denzel Boston is he becomes like Mike Evans, like George Pickens. My hope for Cam Coleman is that he's a better version of who? George Pickens, right? And that's just not guaranteed. Whereas George Pickens, bam, 17 points per game last year in a great situation with the Cowboys, and relatively young, 25 years old. This guy's got a lot of time left to go. So yeah, unless you're trading away Jeremiah Smith, I'm all for going and taking a shot here at George Pickens from a reload and from a contending state of mind. He's the first name. I think he's going to absolutely kill it this year. And number 2, I've been saying this one over and over again, and he's already went up in value, kind of decreased in value recently because of a trip back to his home, the Blue Medical Tent. Jackson Dart. Guys, all in on Jackson Dart. Now, yes, health is a big concern. It's a big red flag. This guy, Tyrone Tracy, missed a block in the preseason. Jackson Dart ended up on the ground immediately in the Blue Medical Tent, concussion protocol, right? So, can he stay on the field? Honestly, I don't know the answer to that. But I do know this. He got Wan'Dale Robinson paid $80 million. When he was healthy, when he was playing, he averaged close to 50 rushing yards per game, as well as rushing touchdowns, almost one rushing TD every game that he played in. Passing-wise, he was around 200 passing yards a game without Malik Nabers. They bring in Malachi Fields. They bring in potentially the return of Malik Nabers. All signs are that he's going to be there for week 1. They bring in Darnell Mooney. I really think Jackson Dart can improve as a passer. We've seen Drake May do that as a rookie. If I go to Drake May, I can show you this, guys. Like Drake May, he had 30 rushing yards a game as a rookie. But bam, the rushing stuff doesn't change. So Jackson Dart's won't change either. Maybe he's a bit more conservative, whatever. Passing wise, Drake May had 180 passing yards a game. And then year 2, it went up by 50%, right? So you can improve as a passer. And I expect that from Jackson Dart in a new look and improved, in my eyes, New York Giants football offense. Again, I'm willing to trade a lot for this guy. I think that, again, Arch Manning, Lenoris Sellers, you got Trinidad Chambliss. Those are my big 3 fantasy quarterbacks to watch out for coming in 2027. Obviously, you have guys like Dante Moore. You have C.J. Carr. You have the Ohio State quarterback. You potentially have some of the Alabama quarterbacks. Although I think Keelan Russell might not be eligible to 2028. But that's a whole different story, right? Again, I think you're chasing Jackson Dart. So unless you're passing on a guy like Cam Coleman, Jeremiah Smith, I think it's relatively safe to trade a 27 first for Jackson Dart. I'd be looking to do that in a heartbeat. And I'd rather have Jackson Dart than the quarterbacks ahead of him. I'd rather have Dart than Purdy. I'd rather have him than Nix, Hurts. So you can just trade. I'd rather have Dart than Herbert, and you can potentially package more on top. So really bullish on Jackson Dart's outlook for this year. Go make a move and grab him. He could potentially be a top 10 dynasty asset after this year. Insane. Chris Olave. Yeah, I hope you guys have been targeting him like I've been telling you to. Because with the Jordan Tyson injury, this is massive. Guys, Chris Olave in the final 3 weeks with Tyler Shough, 20 points, 30 points, 20 points. 3 straight double-digit target weeks. It's safe to say that I have seen the chemistry between these two. And without Jordan Tyson, it's really just Olave and nobody else. There's no Devon Vele. There's no Rashid Shaheed. Actually, hold on. There is Devon Vele. My bad. Switching them up. Yeah, Devon Vele is wide receiver 2. Not exactly great. Wide receiver 2/wide receiver 3 is Bryce Lance. Bryce Lance is a good stash. You have Barry and Brown. It's not looking good for the Saints. It's Chris Olave. It's Travis Etienne. And it's Jawan Johnson. That's the team. This is the high passing volume system. You can trust in Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore's a very smart guy, likes passing the football. And Tyler Shough, again, you want to get receivers that have quarterbacks that have shown they can support fantasy output. And Tyler Shough has done that. Taking a look at how he was last year in the games he played, he was good, man. He averaged about 260 passing yards per game through the final couple of weeks of the season. I trust in Shough. And I trust in Chris Olave. And that's why, let's just go right into Tyler Shough as my 4th name right here. Guys, I really like Chris Olave. I'd rather have Chris Olave than Jordan Tyson. If you can make that move after that injury, definitely a smash of a pick. I'd rather have Olave than Collins or Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson's going to be hindered by Geno Smith, by being on the Jets. Doesn't seem like that's going to be changing anytime soon. Chris Olave is going to be an absolute steal at current prices as long as he can stay healthy. Don't forget, a couple years ago, this guy's brain turned into scrambled eggs. Let's talk about Tyler Shough. Tyler Shough is very low, guys. He's behind Baker Mayfield, Cam Ward, a lot of guys ahead of him that should not be. If you can flip Cam Ward for Shough, go ahead and do that right now. This is the same Scam Ward that was 5 for 14 in the preseason. The same Cam Ward that has 8 rushing yards per game in his pocket. The same Cam Ward that averaged, do I even want to tell you? Do I even want to look at what he averaged? Honestly, 186 yards per game actually is better than I thought. Not going to lie here. Yeah, but I'm out on this entire Titan system. You can flip him for Shough. You are an absolute stud. Now, am I trading at 27 first for Shough? Unless you're guaranteed to be late, probably not. I'm trying to flip other assets like Waddle for Shough. I'd love to do that. I like pivoting off of some of these quarterbacks in down tiers and packaging stuff on top for Tyler Shough, because Tyler Shough sneakily gave you 20 rushing yards a game as well. Not exactly a high ceiling, but it's a pretty good floor. Again, it reminds me of Drake May. Now, obviously, I don't think he's ever going to be in that tier, but it's a really favorable system. Let's go with 2 receivers next. 2 potential breakout receivers ranked very close to each other. It's Rome Odunze and it's Brian Thomas Jr. Rome Odunze is simple. In his final collegiate season, bam, the Huskies, 1,600 yards, 13 touchdowns. Don't forget what this guy did in college. Now he's 24 years old. He obviously has had that nagging of the stress fracture in his foot, and you've had the comments, oh, I'm never going to be the same. It feels bad, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, rookie year, bust. Year 2 breakout, bust. But was it fully a bust? Because at the start of the year, he did come out and kind of balled out, averaged about 17 points per game. Now, he definitely dropped off a cliff, dealt with some more injuries, but this is the cheaper option of the 2 Bears wide receivers this year. Luther Burden, I do think he is electric. I do think he's slot god, Amon-Ra St. Brown potential, Ben Johnson, whatever. Yeah, Luther Burden, it's scary how similar of a situation him and Odunze were. Same exact output as a rookie. What did Odunze do year two? 12 points per game. I wouldn't be surprised if Burden matches that, and I think Odunze is the safer bet for volume. I'm just going to be honest. If they're both healthy, I think both of these guys have very similar shots at breaking out. I probably would lean toward taking the guy at cheaper prices, Rome Odunze. The injury stuff is scary, yes, but with the departure of DJ Moore, they're going to be looking for targets behind Colson Loveland. And I think that Rome Odunze, man, it's not a bad price to be targeting a guy that's 24 years old. Brian Thomas Jr., even younger, this is somebody that had 1,300 receiving yards as a rookie. We had the breakout. Now, we had a year two decline. Chalk it up to injury, chalk it up to new system, whatever you want to chalk it up to. And the haters are going to say he's just bad. Guys, you don't just play like he did in college. You don't just have 17 points per game as a rookie and never repeat it ever again. He's not a one-hit wonder. Now, am I worried about the system? I'm not going to lie to you. Yes. You know, you do have the Parker Washington wide receiver one hype. You have the Jacoby Myers pest. You have the fact that BTJ and Travis Hunter are rotating on and off in wide receiver three sets. That's scary. I'm not going to lie to you. However, if he doesn't produce this year, something's going to change. There's going to be a change of scenery. He's too good of a player to sit back and watch. This is a Trevor Lawrence and Liam Cohen system where he just got Trevor Lawrence. Like, look at Trevor Lawrence last year, man. He unleashed the beast, the best passing touchdown rate of his career in the first year with Liam Cohen. Trevor Lawrence was a top 5 fantasy quarterback. BTJ is going to eat this year, and if he doesn't, I'm not worried about the long-term outlook either. I think his value can't go down much further than what it is, and if you don't believe me, take a look at Marvin Harrison, who didn't, bounce back from year one to year two. We've never seen Marvin Harrison have a 16-point per game season, yet he's only separated by about 8 spots in the overall rankings. So, Brian Thomas and Rome Odunze, do I see Rome Odunze ever being a top 25 dynasty asset? That seems a little far-fetched. If BTJ comes back out with 15 to 16 points per game, the top 30 is not out of mind. Because, again, this was somebody that was going super high in dynasty startup drafts after that great rookie season. I'm targeting him again. And, honestly, go see what you can get him for, because I think he's at the lowest price we're ever going to see. Next name. We already had those 2 great wide receivers. Let's go with 2 more receivers in a not-so-great team, but we've seen fantasy production from the quarterback, Jacoby Brissett. We're going to talk about Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison is too stellar of a prospect to never hit. He's dealt with injuries both years. He's dealt with mental issues, mental lapses, and drops. If the breakout doesn't happen this year, at least you know it's over GG. It's Brissett. Now, I'm in on Marvin Harrison. I'm also in on Michael Wilson. Just being honest with you guys, I like Michael Wilson at current price compared to Marvin Harrison. Michael Wilson looked very, very good with Jacoby Brissett last year, but the naysayers on Michael Wilson are correct. His fantasy output came in weeks when Marvin Harrison was out. That's just a true fact. When Marvin Harrison and Brissett played, Harrison did pop off. Take a look at week 9 and week 10. Pretty solid output from Marv. So I honestly really like both Cardinals wide receivers. I wouldn't be surprised to see either of these guys heavily elevate their stock this year to a certain point. As soon as Carson Beck comes in, it's probably GG. And that's why I like Michael Wilson a little bit more. He's in a contract year, financially motivated. If things don't go well, he can get out of town. Somebody can pay him. Marv is kind of stuck here for another year, but his ceiling is higher, which is why he's currently ranked at a higher price. I do like taking a look at both these guys. One of them's going to return on value for sure. Let's go with Kyle Pitts. The Kyle Pitts breakout happened, and people are ignoring it. Look at how low he is down in the rankings. You can trade Sam Darnold, Jordan Addison, and Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter, who's wide receiver 4, rotational wide receiver on the Jaguars. Come on. Guys, Kyle Pitts had a good year last year. 7 targets a game, 12.4 points per game. I understand that the Atlanta Falcons quarterback room is scary. Tua Tagovailoa, QB1. Michael Penix, wide receiver 2. Neither of them are good, I'm just going to be honest. But who is his competition? Who is it? Tell me. It's Drake London. Okay. Yep, definitely. And then nobody. Jahan Dotson is wide receiver 2. Alameda Zacchaeus is wide receiver 3. There's a reason in preseason game 1, Tua Tagovailoa had 5 passes, 4 targets towards Kyle Pitts. He's a big safety blanket. He's looking agile. He's looking quick. Really, really like him, man. Tight end prices are super affordable right now this year. You have Sam Laporta with the injury news. Sam Laporta's in a contract year. Pitts just got paid. And with the injury stuff with Laporta, I'm looking to pivot right off of Scam Laporta right into Kyle Pitts. I think it's a great move. And this is a good move for the future, too. Go get yourself a tight end. The breakout is going to happen again. And then people are going to wake up real quick. Let's go with 2 more tight ends. Again, they're affordable prices. Now, these guys are contending team options only. George Kittle. George Kittle got positive news from his orthopedic surgeon. His week 1 status, honestly, take it easy, George. I just want him to be healthy for as many games as possible. So hopefully he doesn't rush it back. But let's just say, he's looking to go for week 1. I don't believe it. I think he's going to he's probably not going to be there week 1. I know a lot of people are saying he is. Listen, we've never seen a fall off yet. And I understand he's very old, but he just signed a new contract. He produces. When healthy, he produces. It's as simple as that. Health is a concern. You know he's going to miss time. It's just a matter of how much, especially coming off of the ACL tear, the torn right Achilles tendon, whatever. I really like targeting him as a contending team buy. You probably don't have to give up too much. Similarly, an even cheaper option, 233rd in Dynasty. Juwan Johnson, who's 30 years old. I know they bring in Oscar Delp. Look at what Juwan Johnson did last year with Tyler Shough. He printed 10 points per game. Now, 10 points per game isn't league winning, but you're not selling an arm and a hand to go and get, somebody. Maybe you can't afford a tight end and you need somebody. This is reliable. This is old reliable. Without Jordan Tyson, it's Chris Olave and Johnson. Somebody's got to get the targets. Juwan Johnson and Shough are going to be a dynamic duo. And honestly, he could have an improved red zone role as well. Final name of the vid. I know a lot of these guys were within the top 100. A little pricey. This is somebody that is the wide receiver 1, and he's ranked 255th. You have Jalen Nailor and Jack Besh. Nailor is 3-year, $30 million man. Everyone's saying he's wide receiver 1. Then why is Nailor and Besh playing in preseason and they're giving Tucker the day off? It could just be rest, but it's not. In my eyes, I think Tucker's wide receiver 1. And guys, contract year. Every year of his career is improved. Now, last year's points per game is a little inflated because most of it came in a 150-yard game right there with 3 touchdowns. I get it. Kirk Cousins, not a bad quarterback. Mendoza, supposed to be the truth. All I know is when this guy played in preseason week 1, and even last year, he looks like Tyreek Hill. Now, I'm not saying he's as good at football, but I'm saying he is shifty. He is fast. He pops off. He pops off on film. They have him in motion back and forth. I really like what Tre Tucker can do and what he can bring. Very versatile player. Not many people can keep up with his speed. And this is just simple, man. Contract year, 25 years old. I see 11 points per game in this guy's future. And that would be a good ROI. I think he's got flex week potential, man. So go ahead and buy him for a can of corn right now at low prices. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, man. Just calling my shots on some guys, helping you guys win your teams. Go drop team reviews over in the Discord for free. I'll see you boys in the next one. We got some stashes coming up next.